my topic today is how to stop overthinking everything. What does that mean? So personally, when I think of overthinking, I think of my mind racing to solve a problem that I am not in control of, and trying to control something that I know that I can't control, right? Because if it was under my control, I wouldn't be overthinking about a certain thing or a certain situation. So when I think of overthinking, I think about trying to solve a problem that's not in my control. A person that overthinks replays conversations, wonders if they said the wrong thing, imagines every possible outcome before even the situation happens, right? And I'm guilty of overthinking. I feel like everybody in some type of way overthought before or was an overthinker in some type of situation. But you just have to know that this is something that you have to admit to or acknowledge. And once you acknowledge it, you can actually move forward or figure out how to stop doing it. So today, I'm going to tell you exactly how to stop overthinking and actually get your mind back under control. The first thing you need to do is to recognize when you are overthinking. As soon as you catch yourself overthinking, you need to stop overthinking. You have to be aware of yourself overthinking. Like, what do you do when you overthink? Do you rehearse a conversation that didn't happen? Do you talk to your friend about it? You have to know exactly how you do it. Thinking helps you solve something. Overthinking keeps you in circles, right? So when you're overthinking, you keep talking about the same thing in circles. Just imagine a circle and you keep talking about the same idea over and over and over and over and over. And you just keep overthinking. And I feel like this week I was overthinking, and I can tell that I'm overthinking when I repeat the same thing over and over and over, right? So I think the first thing is just recognizing when you overthink, because sometimes we convince ourselves that we're being productive by thinking about something over and over and over, and that's not productivity. If you are thinking about something in circles over and over and over and you think you're being productive, put a timer and see how long you talk about or think about this certain thing, throughout the day, and see if you were productive, because all you're doing is thinking about that same thing over and over and over. Like, you can't even have a real conversation with your man or with your friend or with your coworker because you keep talking about that specific thing. You replay conversations, which I felt like I've done that before. Right now, I don't do that anymore when it comes to replaying conversations, because it's either I say it or my man will tell you. It's one of us will have to tell you, because if I don't feel comfortable saying it, my man will tell you. Because I feel like overthinkers, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of off topic, but I feel like when you overthink, your brain is in a cage and you're not free because you keep thinking about that thing over and over and over. Does that make sense? So it's good to ask yourself, am I actually getting to an answer, or am I asking myself the same question over and over and over? If you know that you're not getting to an answer, that means you're overthinking. If you're going in circles and nothing new is coming from it, you're probably not solving the problem anymore. You're overthinking. The second thing is, stop trying to predict every possible outcome. I think this is where a lot of overthinking comes from. You want to know what's going to happen before you make that decision. The problem with you thinking that you have it all figured out or your possible outcome is going to work out in your favor is it may not work out in your favor, right? You may think this will happen in a certain scenario and still not know what's going to happen, because at the end of the day, you may think you're gonna win this battle, or I don't want to think of it like you're winning a battle, but you are right, or this is exactly how it's going to go as planned, but it doesn't go that way. Sometimes you have to make the best decision you can with the information that you have and accept what you can't control, right? Just know that this is what you have, this is what you know, and that's that. I feel like when you think you know it all, or you know that this is going to work out in your favor, that's when everything goes wrong, because sometimes it doesn't even work out that way. Sometimes it's even better than what you think, or sometimes it's a different situation, like it happens in a different way. There's many times where I was overthinking things, and when we actually spoke about it, or whatever the case may be, it just turned out differently, right? And then there are times where I thought things will work out my way. And there are times where I thought that sometimes things will work out in my favor, and it didn't work out in my favor. And I just overthought for no reason. I was just overthinking for no reason. I don't know But if you think of the what ifs a lot, it turns out to be uncertain because we don't know if that's really how it's going to happen. It's impossible to predict the future. Like, you're never going to know what's going to happen in the future. So the what ifs is just kind of, I think it's just, how do you say, it's irrelevant because it's like you just will never know, you know? And back then I remember someone told me anytime you hear what if, that's the devil speaking. And I don't know if you guys are spiritual or you guys are religious, but I feel like every time you say what if, that is like, I think that's negative because you should always think of like the positive outcome, right? You should think of like, you should think things in a positive way. If you think of what ifs, it will happen. You know, I feel like if you think of like positive, like when you think about positivity or you think of positive thoughts, everything will work out in your favor. Every time you can't control a certain situation and you don't know what's really going to happen or you feel uncertain about certain things, you just have to let God handle it. You can't just think about it all day. Maybe you can think about it for like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever the case may be. But then after that, let God control it. You have nothing to do about it. You have nothing to, like, there's nothing you can really do. Another thing is you have to learn how to stop replaying certain situations that you can't change. The past is the past. You can't change the past. No matter how hard you try to, you also can't change the feeling of regret. If you feel some type of way and you regret something or you feel embarrassed, or maybe you handled a situation and you wanted to handle it differently, you know, all you can do is learn from your past. That's the only thing you can do. And try not to punish yourself, because a lot of people will try to punish themselves and, you know, beat themselves up because they made a mistake or they wish they never did a certain thing. But all you can do is ask yourself, the question that I would ask myself is there something I can do about this right now? If the answer is no, then you continuing to replay whatever that situation is not going to change what happened. You don't have to keep reliving in the moment just because you wish you could redo something. So yeah, you just have to kind of release yourself and free yourself from that. Just don't beat yourself up. I think a lot of people think that they live with regret, and I feel like you shouldn't live with regret. Like, yes, maybe you regret doing something cool, but it's already in the past. You already did it. So if you can't change from that, or you can't change the situation, you just have to let yourself be. Like, you just have to live with the truth. Like, I think you just have to free your mind and try to figure out a hobby that gets, you know, that allows you to release your emotions or whatever the case may be. You have to do a lot of like healing, self-healing, maybe journaling, maybe, I don't know, because it's like you can't put that stress onto someone else unless it's like a therapist. Even your friends, I feel like you can't do that because they're not therapists, you know? So if you know that you can't change it, you just got to release in a different way. Try to get a hobby or learn a hobby. I don't know. Talk to a therapist. Oh, this thing is about to die, but I hope you guys enjoyed. This is a lot. I feel like I think I already said majority of my stuff.